of Mississippi Studios, and we do have a very special guest today. So I'm just going to jump right on in. We are joined by the co founder and CEO of Moms for Liberty, Tina Deskovich. Tina, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lindsay. Can you hear me is the question because I set up the studio by myself. And so
1 second here. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let's see. For some reason, we can't hear you. There you
Mm.
are. There you are. There you are.
You can hear
How
me
are you,
now?
Tina? I can hear you. How are you?
Oh, I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, one thing that I do here at the show, which I'm sure you will be familiar with, is I open every day with a Madison Minute. And that,
That makes me very happy to hear that.
yes. And I was explaining to the listeners exactly what a Madison Minute is. And the one that is my go to, Tina, that I love more than any other one, I think, is Thomas Paine. And if there must be trouble, let it come in my day so that my children may have peace. And I think that that's exactly, what we do at Moms for Liberty is fight for our children and their futures. And I was explaining yesterday to the listeners that it's just such a beautiful story, beauty from ashes. You were running for reelection, you were on your school board in your county, and you did not win your reelection. But look what has come from that. Look at this organization and how it's grown and the amazing things that have been accomplished by Moms for Liberty. So tell us about that disappointment and then taking that and turning it into what you have done.
Oh, happy to roll back that time machine to 2020. We were at the height of COVID that summer. My re-election for school board was in August of that year. And we had just figured out how to open schools. Well, Governor DeSantis mandated that schools will be open. And we were spending all summer trying to figure out how to open schools and open them safely and keep everybody happy. We had teachers refusing, of course, to come back to work, people demanding everything that you can possibly imagine. I mean, if go in the Wayback Machine and think about those photos of students with like plastic and nets over their musical instruments and all of the bizarre things that everybody was putting forward. And so it was long days, 12-hour meetings of trying to figure all those things out. Meanwhile, the gal that was running against me, a radical liberal in a very red county, had all the time in the world to knock doors and do the things that you need to do to get reelected. And also, she had the Democrat Party and the state teachers union from across the state coming in and helping her knock doors and engage with voters. And on a side note, even in my red county, the forced masking of children was polling positive at 85%. And the last few weeks before the election, it actually came before our school board to vote, I think 3 separate times. And each time I voted against it, 4-1 on my school board. And each time my political consultant said, you will not get reelected if you keep voting this way. And sure enough, I lost my reelection. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. She beat me terribly in mail voting. And I actually think I beat her on election day votes and even early voting, but she did me in so terribly in mail ballots that there was no recovering from that. And you can track those coming in early. So I was not shocked on election night at all. But I was sad. I loved being a school board member. I grew up in this community. I went to the same schools my children go to. I loved being an active part in my community, making it a better place for all children. I learned so much about underserved students in our community and how to help them achieve and learn to read and excel. And I was able to help put policies in place to combat that. And so I was sad, very, very sad when I lost my reelection. But it didn't take long for me to just do take some time to ponder and pray and self-evaluate. And I remember making a list, like, what things are important to you, Tina? Well, my country's important to me, my faith, my family, and education is important to me. And out of that came the organization Moms for Liberty.
It's just incredible. I was telling the listeners yesterday, Bill Brewer at Summit, he gave the prayer. I tell everybody, we open with the Madison Minute on the show. We open all of our meetings with the Madison Minute and a prayer. And Bill used the verse in his prayer, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, from James 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that is my favorite Bible verse. And I don't think I've told you this, Tina, but I went and found him after he spoke and I said, my preacher gave me a card with that Bible verse written in it right after my husband died. And I was so angry. I said, do not tell me to consider this joy.
Uh,
But, when you look back and you see the beauty from ashes and the things that have played out over time, hindsight's 2020, and I consider all the trials that I have faced joy at this point because that's what's led me to where I am today. So I told Bill that, and he came and found me the next day and he said, "You're not going to believe this." He said, "But look at what popped up on my phone this morning." So on his daily Bible devotional, that was the verse, the one verse out of all the verses in the Bible that popped up. And so what a God wink and what a God thing. And so Bill and I kind of connected over that. And I respect him so much. I think the world of him. And he did an amazing job speaking. If he's, if he decides to give up the activism, he needs to be a preacher, in my opinion.
He is, I did not know it. I seem to call on him a lot to pray for me and for this organization, and I called on him multiple times during Summit to pray each morning over the event and what was happening, and I think on day 2 or 3, he said, I used to be a pastor." I think he said that. I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Which is
well,
surp
it fits.
which is surprising because he's a former Air Force pilot, and he has been doing his professional job for quite a number of years, so I'm not sure at what point was he a pastor, but I'm not surprised at all. The one thing that has surprised me about Moms for Liberty is how many God wink moments, how we have felt the Spirit of God in this organization at times when, we're just out doing this work that doesn't seem spiritual sometimes. You're working to change policies at a school district level, or you're trying to change a law in your state, or, you're really mad at your school board meeting,
Yeah,
really yelling at your school board over something they've done. But to see
that's what
God's
domestic
hand.
terrorists do, right?
Yeah, yeah, but to see God's hand over and over again in those little moments, it's a reassurance that we are doing the right thing.
I love that. And in June, we made June Parental Rights Month, and we celebrated a court case, the Supreme Court case, Pierce versus the Society of Sisters, which says that the parent has the fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their children. What I loved about what we did in June, though, is that we highlighted so many wins across the country. And when you line them up like that, it is incredible the things that we have been able to do in such a short amount of time, Tina.
It really is. We publicize out on social the big wins, Supreme Court cases, other First Amendment cases, bills we've got signed into law, election wins. Those are easy, not low hanging fruit. They're all a hard fought battle, but they're easy to showcase. We actually have a spreadsheet that the chapters report in, and they all actually don't even report all the time. But those that take the time to do it, they'll send or they'll post a little message where we have the group chat of wins that they've had, and so we've actually tracked that in a spreadsheet, and I have the tabs out for each month. And it is so, like, if I'm ever feeling down or wondering if it's worth it, or, can we keep going? I open that spreadsheet and you just read line after line after line of the accomplishments of all of our members and chapters across the country. And it is very encouraging.
It is. And we have a chapter chair meeting once a month, and you're always on those calls, and you stay on there and answer questions for as long as people have them and talk to all of the chapter chairs. But we also highlight some of the wins on those chapter chair calls. And it's gotten to where there's so many that it's taken up most of our meeting. We've had to kind of cut them down or talk really, really fast to get them all in there. But it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible what we have been able to do, boots on ground at the most local level, true grassroots.
It's the power of grassroots. And, there aren't a lot of true grassroots organizations in the country, especially not on the conservative side. And I will tell you, starting and leading this organization for almost 5 years, that's because this work is very hard, especially with conservatives and conservative women. We have strong opinions. We have strong beliefs about things, about like all kinds of things. And so keeping people mission focused on one thing is a little bit challenging at times, especially when you have so many differences outside of the one thing that you're trying to stay focused on. And so it's hard work, but it is so worth it.
It really is. When you see a piece of legislation and you see it make its way all the way through until it is signed into law, which is not easy, as you know. And then you watch it being played out in real time and seeing it actually making a difference in your community and know that you played even a small part in that. It is so rewarding. It's addicting. It's like, what can I do next? That's the kind of attitude I have now.
You have to be careful because that's also how government grows.
Yes, exactly.
Lawmakers get the high because they've been successful in a bill that's making a difference, and so they're always looking for a new bill, and before you know it, you have more laws than you can handle.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just as important to stop some bad things coming through than it is to actually get new legislation through. But tell us, what is a day in the life of the CEO of Moms for Liberty? Tell us what your life looks like daily.
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. So I get here really early in the office when I'm in town. I travel a ton, but when I'm in town, I get here really early, and I love about 2 hours before everybody gets here, and I actually turn up usually, like, gospel worship praise music on like YouTubemusic.com, and it just picks the songs for me, and I turn it all the way up, and for 2 hours, I get so much done, and I feel so good in those 2 hours, but then the real day starts of meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and, I'm not a meeting fan, so I find that very challenging. I do enjoy being on the road. I don't like being away from my family, but, I speak at events, I meet with donors. Since President Trump got elected, I seem to spend a lot more time in DC than I ever thought I would. We are blessed to be invited continuously to the White House for fun events, sometimes like the Easter egg roll and Halloween celebration, but also for bill signings and important
Mhm.
conversations. We've been included in the Department of Education, a lot of their initiatives, and we've really pulled up a seat at the table and earned a seat at the table in a lot of these discussions for the how we're going to shape the future of America.
I love it. I have a picture of the White House standing outside of the gate when we had our summit in DC before President Trump had taken office and Biden was still in the White House. And I also have a picture from after Trump took office in June when we were at the White House together. And it's like, what a difference. Like we have a seat at the table now. We're being invited in. Whereas
Yeah,
before
you're on the other
it was
side of the gate, right?
other side of the gate. And it's just so incredible to see that even, if our moms helped in just the slightest way, it just makes you giddy knowing that President Trump came in there and he kept his promises to us. He did the things and he's doing the things that he told us that he would do, from these executive orders that he has signed to keep our women and girls safe and in sports and bathrooms and their safe places, and all the way to defunding and dismantling the Department of Education, which is what they are working so hard to do, which needs to be done. When Betsy DeVos spoke at our very first summit and she made that remark, I didn't think the crowd was ever going to stop cheering.
It was pretty phenomenal, and today, I'm not sure if you probably don't know because I think it just was announced just a few minutes ago, Secretary McMahon came out with a big announcement about further steps she's taking to dismantle the Department of Education, but as she likes to say it, further steps she's taking to return education to where it belongs with the state and with families. I guess they have 6 initiatives they're doing to sign contracts, I think they call them interlocal agreements or something like that, to send some of the work that they do to other departments. So I'm looking forward to reading and learning more about that and see how that unfolds.
Oh, that's amazing. I read part of her op-ed that she wrote over the weekend on the show yesterday that talked about, we told you the government shut down and nobody even realized the Department of Education is not really doing anything.
Yeah,
Schools
she
can't be
said, what did
stopped.
she say? 90% of the Department of Education hasn't been working, and you have not even
Yeah,
noticed. Your kids still went to school, teachers were still
exactly.
paid, and so, point taken.
Absolutely. Well, this time of year is a really good time for giving. And so we have, I guess, Giving Tuesday, and we ask, if you want to see this work continue, obviously we have to have donors and people who donate to us so that we are able to continue to do the things that we do in the capacity that we do it. And so one thing that you've said to me, it's not easy to ask people for money, but it is necessary. And so, what's the worst they can tell you? No. And so I've tried to get a little better at that because I'm like you. I hate to ask people for money, but what would you tell people about how to give to Moms for Liberty if they would like to do so?
I love that you're giving me the opportunity to do this, and I'll just preface it with, running for school board, they used to call it dialing for dollars, and you just go through everyone in your phone, and you'd ask them anywhere between 25 and $100 depending on who they were, and if they were really wealthy, you might ask for the full 1,000, which is the max here in Florida, but, oh, I would sit and dread. I'd look at my phone, at my contacts, and just, "Oh, I don't wanna do this, I don't wanna do this." And now, I have to walk into meetings and rooms and ask for hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes, and I do it without flinching. So it's also a skill that you can acquire and grow into and become passionate about. And I've gotten a lot better at it, I'd say. And so right now the ask is that any of your listeners that want to see Moms for Liberty continue, please consider supporting here at the end of the year. It's go to momsforliberty.org. You can donate any amount. I think $5 is fabulous. Obviously, for bigger donations, you can reach out to us, and it's all on our website on how to connect with us.
$5 is fabulous, so is $5 million, so if anybody out there has that,
Yeah.
we take any because it is so necessary. I mean, it takes money to be able to the outreach that we do and the ways that we are able to educate and empower parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. Money's a part of that.
And we use every dollar so wisely. Like, this is my podcast studio, but, it's a fun story, and I think you know this from when you came down here to be on the podcast. We put this together in 2 weeks. Lisa and Amy on our team went to Home Goods. All of this stuff was thrown in the back of their SUV, and, my husband painted to the wall, and so we are very thrifty around here at Moms for Liberty, and yet we are impacting the future of education, the future of America, all the way up to the White House. And so people tell us all the time that we punch out of our weight, and I think that's maybe a boxing term, or wrestling. I don't know. I don't follow those sports that well, but
Me either, me either.
we're out of our class because what we raise and how we're able to stretch every dollar does not match any other organization in the country. And so every dollar is put to good use, and we maximize it just like any mom would, really.
Well, it's funny because the Southern Poverty Law Center has named us a hate group or an anti-government group, and I was just telling my listeners, there's like Moms for Liberty and then the KKK. It's absolutely ridiculous sitting there next to each other. There is an organization here in Mississippi. We don't have a teachers union per se, but this organization acts as the teachers union. They are funded by the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they have been the thorn in our side that has stopped us from being able to get school choice legislation and parental rights. In Mississippi, we can't get a parental rights bill through the legislature. And so I try to explain to people what the Southern Poverty Law Center is and just how terrible they are. But they really tried to take us down, and I think it did the opposite.
It absolutely did the opposite, and, this morning in their November hate report, the Southern Poverty Law Center added us again. I think we got 2 paragraphs this time. Me personally, a quote from Summit is put in there. It's the most ridiculous quote because it's something I said on stage, and I was speaking to all of you, and I just said, "You've been attacked, you've been bullied, you've been shamed, you've been canceled, you've been doxxed, but we'll continue the fight." That's what they quoted and said, that puts us back in the hate group. But the category now this morning wasn't just anti-government extremist group. This morning it was militia and anti-government extremist group, and I thought,
Comical. It's comical.
like, it's so out of control. But also for November, and this will make you feel so much better, the other folks that are on there for November are Riley Gaines, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I mean, you go down the
We are
list
in
and
good
you're like,
company. We are in
yeah,
good
yeah, like, these are
company.
people I'm proud to stand with these ladies, but under the headline of militia and anti-government extremist group is absurd.
That's wild. That is wild. We just had an election, and there have been so many false reports out there saying that, oh, Moms for Liberty's lost their spark. Moms for Liberty didn't win a single school board seat. How many did we win, Tina? 17, 16, 17?
Yeah, we won 17 of 33 school board seats. It put us over 53, 56% win rate. I think it was 56 for the year because there's school board elections all year long. And so we had some early on in April in Wisconsin and such. And so I think we had 32 for the year. They were all contested. All 17 from this election were contested. And so when we hit back at them and say, no, we won 17, then they come back and go, oh, those
But
weren't contested.
those were all uncontested.
Yeah. So then we show them screenshots of here's the other 3 candidates that were running. Well, you fabricated. I mean, it's just obnoxious. It
It
really.
takes 2 seconds to look that up and see that they were contested. There were people running against these candidates that we endorsed, and we won. And we won in some pretty liberal places too. It's just exciting. Very
We
exciting.
sure did. Yeah, in some blue areas for sure we won races also. And so next year, we got some planning to do for next year, but it's America's 250th and there's a lot of school board elections next year. So I think we're going to be coming at it pretty hard.
And we're just getting started, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Well, I know you've got to go. I only got you for 30 minutes, but Tina, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. I love for my listeners to be able to hear more about Moms for Liberty and then organization as a whole and the things that we really are doing, the boots on ground work and the wins. And so they probably get tired of hearing me talk about it, but it's my passion, it's my heart, and I am just so excited to be in this fight. Thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for all you do for your chapter chairs and for the organization as a whole. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on today.
Oh, Lindsay, it is my pleasure and my honor to be doing this work and just so grateful for all that you are doing. So thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, you have a great day, and we're going to take a break. So y'all stay with me. We'll be right back here on The Lindsay Beckham Show.
WYAB.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now that's our kind of hustle. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wasilowski, owner and general manager of 1039 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 1039 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 1039 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 1039 WYAB. And keep listening.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
If you've had an accident, remember Clinton Body Shop. We work for you, not your insurance company. Don't be misled by someone telling you that you will have to pay more than your deductible. Our shops hold multiple certifications from the makers of today's vehicles. We are the longest running ICAR Gold Class certified repair facility in Mississippi. We know how to repair your vehicle, and we will work with your insurance company on your behalf. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Come together.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. Again, big thanks to co-founder and CEO of Moms for Liberty, Tina Descovich, for being with us for the first half of the show today. She is a very busy woman, and I know that her time is precious. And so thank you, Tina, again for being here and talking about the organization and explaining how we got started and what we're doing and what we still plan to do, because there's just still so much that needs to be done. I'm excited to go and see the the new Southern Poverty hate map or militia map, I guess. And I just think it's extremely comical that they want to demonize parents who are fighting for their children, parents who are willing to risk it all, their jobs, their businesses, their friendships, reputations, all of it, risking it all in order to give their kids a better future in an attempt to make our public education system better than it is today. And there's a lot of work to be done there. And I'm just honored to stand alongside these women in this organization and fight for the future of our country and fight for our children. I mean, it's so true. It is so true. We have got a country to save here. It's so important. I don't think there could be anything else as important. And I said this the other day, but it's just, there can't be any more excuses. There can't be, I don't have the time, or I'm too busy, or I'm too tired. The time for all that has passed. We're in a situation now where the future depends on this. Our children's future, their children's future, it depends on what we do today. I mean, are we going to sit back on the couch and fuss at the TV when we see things that we don't like? Are we going to get out and do something about it? Get out and change it. Talk to your school board members. Encourage someone that you know to run for school board. Know who your legislators are. Know who your congressman is. Form relationships with those people. Tell them the things that you want to see in your state, in your community, in your city, in your town, in your school, in your county. Tell them what we are seeing happen in schools today, because so many are unaware. And that's why it's so important that we educate as many as possible about the radical ideologies that are being pushed into schools from the top down, which is another reason why the U.S. Department of Education needs to be completely dismantled. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what Secretary McMahon has proposed. Also, we saw yesterday, and I'm probably going to get this wrong. I should have looked this up in the break. We had a new appointment yesterday by Secretary McMahon, our very own Mississippi and former governor here was appointed, and I'm unsure of what his role is. I've got to look that up, and I'll make sure that I'll let you know. But he's the second Mississippian to be appointed by the Department of Education because they see the gains here in Mississippi in education. And the reason we are seeing our reading scores improve the way that we are is because we went back to the basics. We decided to go back to the basics, phonics. And then we decided we're not going to continue to pass children on to the next grade if they can't read at grade level. That's not going to happen anymore. And when we did those two things, the improvements, I mean, we skyrocketed. We have people calling it the Mississippi Miracle. We have people from all over the country calling saying, hey, what did you do? How did you make this work? Well, I'll tell you. Back to the basics. Phonics. Leave the ideologies out of it. Leave the social justice for second graders alone. Leave it alone. Let's focus on actually reading. And it worked. We got to take another break because we went long in that first segment with Tina. I wanted her to be able to share her wisdom with us as long as I had her. So we went a little over. So it's time for our next break, but y'all stay with us. There's lots more to break down and discuss here on The Lindsay Beckham Show. Woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
CBS News Brief. The House is expected to vote shortly on legislation forcing the Justice Department to release its Jeffrey Epstein files. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he still has concerns about privacy protections for some of the survivors of Epstein's abuse.
I'm going to vote to move this forward. I think it could be close to a unanimous vote because everybody here, all the Republicans, want to go on record to show through maximum transparency, but they also want to note that we're demanding that this stuff get corrected before it is ever moves through the process and is completed.
It's unclear how the Senate will vote on the measure. President Trump is hosting Saudi Arabia's crown prince at the White House.
But I just want to say it's an honor to be your friend, and it's an honor that you're here.
The crown prince just announced he's upped his country's investment in the U.S. to $1 trillion. It's his first White House visit since Saudi agents killed Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Prince Mohammed has denied ordering agents to kill him. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland can do it all. Is your check engine light on? Take it to Green's. Air not blowing cold anymore? Take it to Green's. Squeaky brakes, bald tires, misaligned front end? Take it to Green's. Green's Tire and Auto can do it all. Your car can operate just like new again when you take it to Green's. Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland. Take it to Green's. 601-957-0201.
ABS causes mass hysteria by providing office tech that actually does its job.
Relax. At Advantage Business Systems, we know office technology isn't that exciting, but we do know it is life-changing. Work-life-changing, that is. Because the latest copiers, printers, mailing machines, and even telephone systems can keep your office running smoothly. Visit absms.com. Advantage Business Systems, helping your business do business.
The mowing season is full on here in Mississippi. I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. The industry-changing Exmark Laser Z commercial mower turns 30 years old this year and has been redesigned with even more great features you just have to see. We have a sale going on with instant rebates, and 0% financing is available too. Stop by our store and let our award-winning staff show you the Exmark difference. Fredericks and Exmark, over 3 decades serving you in Brandon since 1993.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. 601-879-0002 is the number to the station if you want to call in today. 601-879-4648 is the text line. If you have anything that you would like to say but don't want to be on air, you can text that number. Tell me how much you love the show, how much you hate the show, how much you love or hate me. I can handle it. Trust me. We do catch a lot of hate, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. But yesterday it was announced that former governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant, has been appointed by Secretary of Education Linda McMahon to the National Assessment Governing Board. I never would have gotten that right, ever. I knew it was something along those lines, but I was not going to remember those words. So he, along with another Mississippian, Laurie Todd Smith, who was appointed to a key role at the Department of Health and Human Services in June, but now both have these appointments in these major parts of government. So I think it says something. It says, hey, we're paying attention to Mississippi and what you guys are doing over there because it's working. So I'm excited for former Governor Bryant. I think that this can only be a good thing for Mississippi. Tate spoke, Governor Reeves, our current governor, spoke a few weeks ago at a dinner that I attended from the Mississippi Center for Public Policy, where we were celebrating the conservative success that we've had here in the state. And one thing that Governor Reeves said that just I really loved was, yes, we've made huge strides in education. We have got the attention of the entire country, but we're not going to stop there. We want to continue to do better. We want to continue to make improvements. We want to continue to help every child learn and learn in the environment and in the way that best suits their needs. And of course, we all know who knows how a child learns the best. The government? I hope you're saying no. The parents? Absolutely. The moms who are calling out the spelling words, the moms who are chauffeuring kids from here to there and everywhere in between, the moms who go and buy the note cards so that we can study with our kids for tests, the moms who shed tears with their children over geometry. That's me. We know our kids. We know how they learn. We know what they need. We do not co-parent with the government, and our rights do not stop at the classroom door. So while we are seeing great strides, much improvement, we're not done. There's much, much more to do. I was talking with somebody yesterday about something I want to work on this upcoming legislative session, which is curriculum transparency. My thought, my suggestion is that we put together a committee, and I don't know, maybe it should be a different committee put together by each district, each school district in the state. And what these committees would do is look at the approved curriculum, the handful of options that they are given that has been approved by the Mississippi Department of Education, have this committee made up of not just administrators, but teachers and parents, especially parents. Have them go through the different curriculums that the state has approved, and then vote on which ones they think best suits our needs and our children's needs here in the state of Mississippi. And then transparency breeds trust. Let's make that material available to parents. Now, I keep being told there's an issue with that because of copyright laws, but I just don't believe that there's no way around that. Parents have the right to know what their children are being introduced to for 7 hours a day. You know, that's my God-given right. Government didn't give me the parental rights that I possess. We're all born with unalienable rights given to us by our Creator. Government can't take those from you. They might make you think they can, or they might try to scare you into thinking that they can, but they can't. So the tyranny that we've seen, the shaming of parents, calling us domestic terrorists for showing up to fight for our kids, it's pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting. And I love that Tina and I were able to hit on that, the changes that we've seen since President Trump took office, since the Republicans came back into power. The White House is a different place. We have a seat at the table, at every table just about. We are invited constantly to the White House. We are invited to sit on panels with RFK, discuss the MAHA movement, one of my friends in the organization, and she lost her son Weston to fentanyl. She stood with President Trump as he signed that executive order. We're winning. Don't be fooled by this last election cycle. Parents are winning. And we are fighting for our children and their future. And we'll continue to do so. We got to take our last break. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here on The Lindsay Beckham Show. We'll be right back here on The Lindsay Beckham Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
Tri-County Tree Service, the Jackson Metro's premier company to handle all of your tree service needs. Russ Borland and his team specialize in large tree, low-impact removal. Tri-County Tree Service has the right equipment to safely handle the most technical trim jobs or tree removals. Storm damage can happen year-round, so let them clean it up and they'll deal with your insurance claim. Tri-County Tree Service, by phone at 601-TREE-GUY or online at tricotreeservice.com. That's tricotreeservice.com.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
If you're a parent or grandparent, you should know that even though Mississippi is ranked as the unhealthiest state in the country, we have the highest vaccination rate for our children and grandchildren. Many of us blindly trust the medical establishment, and now it's time to question vaccine safety. Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights is a grassroots organization working to educate the public and lawmakers about this important topic. Be informed. Go to mpvr.org. Like us on Facebook to stay up to date on the latest information. That's Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, mpvr.org.
Come together.
The last few minutes of the show today, I was correct. There are two that Secretary of Education Linda McMahon has appointed to this same board, this National Assessment Governing Board. The other, I just had it pulled up. She previously appointed Kimona Burke to the board as well. So she sees what's happening and the improvements that we are making in education here in the state of Mississippi. And Governor Bryant, during his tenure, he is the governor who signed Mississippi's literacy-based promotion act into law. But that's the reading gate, the third grade reading gate that we give now. And if you cannot read on grade level, you are not passed to the next grade like so many do. They just let them keep going on to the next grade, and they are not reading on grade level, and so they fall further and further behind. Well, we put a stop to that, and we've made such huge strides since then. So because of that, Secretary McMahon said that she is so grateful for his willingness to serve, and she looks forward to the great work that he will do on the board. Now, this board is the policy board that oversees the National Assessment of Education Progress, or otherwise known as the nation's report card. So what an honor, and how exciting is it that she is appointed to Mississippians, because she sees the gains that we are making here. But again, so much more to be done. There might be a Mississippi miracle, but it can always continue to improve. Of course, y'all all know one way that I can see that happening is school choice, parent power, education freedom. Let a child learn the way that suits their individual and unique needs, regardless of their zip code, regardless of their race, regardless of their ability to pay. They're the future. They are the future. Governor Bryant said that he's honored to join the governing board, and he hopes to help more places experience the kind of dramatic progress we've seen in Mississippi in reading. He said across the country, we need to also advance achievement in math, civics, U.S. history, and science, and I could not agree more. I think every school needs civics. We need to be teaching our children their rights, and they need to understand that. That's something that is important, so important to their future, something that desperately needs to be understood, and we need to be focusing more on that. I think we're doing a good job of starting that process. All right, we just have a few seconds left. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Y'all don't miss it. I will see you then. Hope everyone has a great afternoon. It's beautiful out there. Stay away from all the Asian beetles. See you tomorrow. Bye.